When I was in high school, my parents dropped a bomb on me and my brother during Christmas season. They were going to change things up. Instead of just the four of us, they were going to invite an extra guest to join us for Christmas. His name is Great Uncle Babe, and he's the wild card. We had some great times, wonderful memories. All sorts of weird things could happen when Uncle Babe was there. Sometimes for Christmas, he would give you a card with a $5 bill in it. Other years, he would give you a card with 5 $1 bills in it. You never knew what you were going to get. One year, he actually ate potpourri. But in his defense, it was on a side table and there were orange peels in it. So I think we can give some leeway. Having Uncle Babe around for Christmas became a tradition that carried on for several years. And it was always a big to-do, because Uncle Babe is a weird, I don't want to say weird guy. He's a unique character. He's my grandfather's older brother, so I don't know why he's called Babe. Maybe it's because he was a mama's boy, to the extent that he promised his mother he would never leave her, never move away. So except for a stint in the Marine Corps, he lived in the same house with her all the way until she died, and then for almost 30 years after. He's still living there today because he takes his promises seriously. And getting him from that big house was always a huge ordeal, because Uncle Babe does not travel well. He is a man of routines, and for his past 93 years, he follows the same routines. He goes to the same restaurants where he has food, which is his favorite thing in the world. And every meal he has is the best meal that he has ever had before, especially when he goes to his favorite restaurant, which is the hospital cafeteria in Sharon, Connecticut. He does not live in Connecticut. He finds people to drive him across state lines so he can go to the hospital cafeteria and they know him by name. So whenever I had to go get him, it was always a huge ordeal because he didn't like my car. He preferred to ride high in a minivan. So I'd borrow my parents' minivan and drive down and pick him up and drive him back up. One year, as we were coming back to my parents' house, he broke wind. And being a gentleman, he rolled down the window, and he promptly broke it. So on December 22nd, we had to drive 2 hours on the highway with a wide open window. But that was part of the mystique of Uncle Babe. You never knew what could happen. I think my favorite memory of a Christmas with Uncle Babe was when I was probably about 16 or 17, and we had a big snowstorm, and the power got knocked out, which in the early 2000s was a bad thing because we didn't have battery-operated devices. So all the new stuff that we got that had to be plugged in and charged, because no one planned ahead for Christmas, now was sitting dormant, and we were stuck, just the 5 of us. But it actually turned out pretty well. We sat by the fireplace, and being good upstate New York people, we still had the grill on the patio, so we just shoveled a couple of feet of snow off it and put the roast in there. And as we were sitting there just telling stories and talking the way families used to in the old times, we had a crank-up radio going, and all of a sudden Uncle Babe popped out of nowhere singing Bing Crosby. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard, because it was music. And we had been on a technology blackout for the entire day. And everything worked out well. It could have been a disaster, but let me tell you, that roast beef was the best meal that he's ever had. Uncle Babe doesn't get out much anymore. He still lives there by himself with his dog. He still gets all sorts of trips to wonderful restaurants like the Sharon Hospital cafeteria or Cracker Barrel. And everywhere he goes, he is able to have the best meal he ever had. And that type of simplicity is something to be admired. especially in this time where we all have so much. Thank you.